Hey guys, Rookie Lock here, back once again. I hope everyone's having a great day as always, and I hope everyone had a great weekend. So today I got kind of a cool video for you guys. Well, at least something I've been kind of looking forward to doing, which is to finally pick a new core to put into this Abus here, Abus 83 CS80. My baby. I love this thing. But if you guys watched the last video, you'll probably have seen that the core in here is really nothing special. The one that comes stock in this case. It's just a 6-pin lock. Probably very similar to what you would have in your door, which in a lot of cases is really nothing special. It picks open really easy. It makes this the weakest link of the lock. Makes picking it the weakest link of the lock. But it takes a 570 oval, which, well, I have a few here, and so basically you can replace it with any of the similar format, as long as it fits, and that's what we're gonna check out here. There may be some cases where, depending on the lock, it may not fit. So yeah, hopefully we'll put a new core in here and something that makes it just as tough inside as it is out. That's basically the goal. So yeah, we'll just take it apart first of all. Get that bearing out of the way here. There's a screw down the shackle hole, you can probably see. There's a nice stainless screw, I believe. Pretty beefy. And this should come right out. So that's what we have here, is just a regular 570, a lot of people call it Australian oval cylinder. And this may be the problem with putting a new cylinder in here. We'll have to check it out. But this faceplate here, or I think they might even call it an anti-drill plate, also has these protrusions so that, I'm guessing, so it makes it harder to drill, but also so you can't over-rotate the core. And that may pose a problem for what cylinder we want to put in here. So yeah, maybe let's I guess we'll try the Caba first. So just because it's a 570 doesn't mean it's going to fit. I mean, it's going to fit in the body, and the faceplate will put down over it. But let's see here. I think we're going to have a problem with yeah, getting the key all the way in. As you can see here, it stops on this lip here. So to get this to work, you would need to modify the bow of the key. And probably you would want to do both of them, because these keys are reversible. You can put them in this way or this way and it still opens the lock. But that's not something I want to do. I don't want to, and even then you're not, even if you cut these bows off, this key might go into the lock too deep and you'd have a hard time. It wouldn't be too user friendly, let's say. So sadly the Caba is not gonna go in here. And it's kind of funny because I thought this would be a perfect lock. Actually, Paul did as well. Actually, when he was hinting at this, he said, yeah, that Caba would be really nice in a 83 CS80, wouldn't it? And I can't disagree, it would be, but I'm not willing to modify it to put it in there. So that's an easy exclusion. So we're down to two, Abloy and beautiful bilock here. And well, actually, bilock would be I don't know, it's hard to say. If either of these would work, I would have a really hard time picking between the two of them. Abloy probably more high security, but there's nothing like a satisfying click of a dual sidebar lock, in my opinion. So let's check the bylock out. And I have not put the tail pieces on here yet. I would once I decide which core to use, I take this tail piece off and put it on that core that I decide. But so bylock, I wasn't sure that it's going to work because it has a domed cylinder face here. But I don't know if they thought about that in design of this, but this faceplate has some relief or a recess to maybe to allow for that. I'm not quite sure. And it does fit. But as you can see here, it looks like a little bit of the keyway. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of the keyway is being blocked off. But as tolerances are built into things, yeah, it would get out of the way, and I'm sure that this would work. Maybe a little tricky to go in, but it does turn, and I think it probably does turn enough to it would turn enough to retract the ball bearings. So this is totally an option. Yeah, if you haven't, if I didn't show this, if you didn't see the last video, there's just this little brass spacer here that goes up at the top here, and that just kind of levels off. Where's the original cylinder? Just levels off the cylinder here, so you're not putting too much weight, and you don't get a weird action from weight being pushed on your cylinder. But yeah, kind of got off track there. So yeah, between the bylock and the Abloy, I don't see why the Abloy wouldn't work. It is a round keyway, but I mean, everything fits in there. Where's the keys here? And doesn't look to be blocked off in any way. The only thing about the Abloy is it needs a 180 degree turn to retract the actuator, to turn the actuator. Quarter turn aligns all the discs. Sidebar or top bar falls down, and then the cylinder is allowed to turn. And there's no tailpiece on there now, so it over rotates, but I'll show that again here. Quarter turn, nothing. All the discs get aligned. Top bar or sidebar drops in and allows cylinder rotation. And the thing with that is, even with this plate in, this can rotate in either direction. And when you take a cylinder like this that's meant for a door and you put it in a padlock, it doesn't make the most user-friendly padlock. Not everyone's used to a cylinder like this that you put the key in, you turn it, and the lock opens. But not everyone has used a system like this where, yeah, you need to get the discs aligned before it to turn, and then you turn it back, and you have to know that you stop here to pull it out, where some people might want to keep turning until it stops and then try to pull it out. So, I mean, I'm probably going to be the only one using this lock, so that's not a problem. It's just, I thought I would mention it anyway. So really, it does come down to really surprisingly, it does come down to the bylock and the Abloy. Actually, hard decision for me. I know a lot of you guys would be right on, take the, or maybe a lot of you guys would take the bylock. I'm not sure. But another thing that's going to go into my decision making is I only have one key for the bylock. And I would hate for something to happen to this key, whether it, I don't know, I don't see it getting broken, or maybe not even getting worn, but if I would lose this key, then I'm pretty well screwed. I don't know what I would do if I had this lock and there was a core stuck in it. I'd probably cry first of all, but yeah, I don't know what I would do, honestly. Maybe go crying to Abus, send me a new bottom plate. I don't know. But the Abloy I have plenty of keys for. But the one problem I did run into with the Abloy is, well, these screws. When I got these locks from Paul, quite a while back, they both had one screw in them, and it was a flathead screw. And I realized after removing those screws that I don't know if they're proprietary or if they're obviously a different thread than the normal screws, or maybe these holes aren't deep. But what I had to do to get screws to work, I had to trim them down. So I don't know if the threads are screwed up in here or if the holes aren't deep. But like I said, with a normal 570 screw, you screw it in and it turns fine for a good ways, but then it just stops and it's not cinched down far enough to, you know what I mean, retain your tailpiece. So I had to cut these screws to be able to screw them in deep enough to accept that tailpiece. And in fact, actually, I have another one somewhere where when I was trying to take out the flathead screw, it broke and it's stuck in there for good, which kind of sucks, but I'll have two of them. Anyway, I'm kind of blabbing, but yeah, I kind of hate using things that are sort of jimmy rigged. I mean, for all I know, the threads look fine. It's just I found it weird that that a normal screw didn't want to screw in all the way. I don't know if it's like something that got rethreaded or whatever, but either way, I think it'll be fine. And I think my decision is to use the Abloy just because of the key thing. I think it'd be better to have more keys in case of emergency, even though this lock might not see any real use out in the wild. I'm gonna play it on the safe side and use the lock with more keys. So yeah, that's my decision. So all I need to do is put this tailpiece on here and use my shortened screws, and I'll show you. They do go down tight and everything. It's just I find it weird how, I mean, maybe it's just the holes aren't deep enough, but it doesn't seem like the problem. It seems like the threads are different at the bottom of the hole. I don't know. But I don't think that poses any real problems. This doesn't see like a huge amount of pressure on it or anything like that. So yeah, see, I'm screwing down pretty tight. It's not like they're stripping or anything. And I don't see, like, this isn't going to have a whole bunch of force on it, so I don't know. I don't see there being any problem. It's just, I don't know, I hate having to cut corners like that, let's say. But before anything, we'll do a quick function test, of course, before we put the retainer screw in. So it's locked up now, discs aligned, unlocked, and relocked, and unlocked. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'll put the old retainer screw in there and give it another test. Okay, get some of this stuff out of the way here. So there we go. One upgraded Abus 83 CS80. Paul, once again, I can't thank you enough, buddy. This This is one hell of a present, and it's one present that I'm going to have forever. I'll always remember where it came from, that's for sure. And as well as the core. But I'll have to keep my eye out for maybe some more options for high security cores, or maybe if I get another bilock key or a couple of bilock keys and then repin a bilock, I'd probably put a bilock in here just as well. But I'm damn happy with this. This is yeah, words don't do it justice. I can't anyway. Wow. Already at 15 minutes. I'm gonna leave it with that, guys. And as always, can't thank you guys enough for sticking with me. You know, I appreciate your support, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.